robotics, and engineering. So, how does it help us? It helps a surgeon in operating in inaccessible areas of human body with ease and comfort. So, how does it help the patient? It helps the patient with minimal or hidden scars, reduced blood loss, early recovery, minimum wound-related complications, and reduced hospital stay. So, this is a basic robotic surgical system. It has, as you can see, it has got three parts. Part. This is the master console. This is wherein the surgeon sits, the chief operating surgeon sits. This is the patient cart. This is by the side of the patient, wherein he place the instruments into the patient's abdominal cavity, oral cavity, whatever. And this is the vision cart. This is the vision card. So this is the master, this is the slave, and this communicates between the two. There are cables that go from this to this and this to this. Whatever master orders, the slave performs the procedure. But so there are many robotic systems that are working all over the world currently. There are many types of systems. By far, this is the most, Da Vinci system is the most common, most capable and versatile. And this is, of course, the most expensive also. Other systems, Versailles, Hugo, Zeus, and last one, this is SS Mandra, this is made in India. This technology has been developed in India by a surgeon, only is a thoracic surgeon from Odisha or Bhubaneswar somewhere. He has developed this robot. The new robotic systems, as you saw in the previous slide, this master cart has got many arms. So we have to make at least 3 or 4 holes in the abdomen to gain access to the organ. What this newer technology does, it has got a single port through which flexible instruments, flexible arms enter into the abdominal cavity, and we can do the procedure from a single port. Only one small incision. This has not come in India as of yet, but this is what we are looking into the future. As you can see, the arms are flexible. They go into a single port and later they diverge once they are inside the abdominal cavity, and we can perform the surgery comfortably. You can see it can work in a very small space very comfortably with this system. This is the same, this is a single port Da Vinci system. We in India as of now don't have this, but in USA they are working on this. So what are the benefits of robotic surgery? First is intuitive motion. In laparoscopy is also minimally invasive surgery, everybody knows, but there is a lot of strain on the surgeon, and there is limitation of laparoscopic surgery. Surgeon gets fatigued, and the instruments cannot move in each and every direction. It has got certain degrees of freedom. The instrument can either open or we can rotate the instrument. Here, this is not the case with the robotic system. Whatever, as you can move your hands as in open surgery, the instrument translates the same motion. Whether it's flexion, extension, external rotation, internal rotation, circumflexion, it has a wrist. Each instrument has a wrist here. You can rotate your hand like this, the instrument inside can rotate like this. It replicates the same movement, which is not possible in laparoscopic surgery. So it gives us the benefits of both of them, minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery and the open surgery. Of course, you have better vision. It has got better vision than even the most advanced laparoscopic systems. There is 10 times magnification, and more importantly, there is depth perception because the vision is three-dimensional vision. Then there is the opportunity to train our trainees also, fellows, residents. This is a dual control system, wherein in one of the consoles a chief surgeon will sit, another console the trainee surgeon will sit. The chief surgeon can direct by pointers where a trainee surgeon has to dissect, or he can limit him, he cannot go beyond a certain point for him to understand and to learn the surgery. In this slide, you can see in surgical system, Da Vinci surgical system, there is a surgical simulator also. Before a trainee surgeon actually sits on the actual patient, there is a simulator that replicates the surgery itself. There are certain procedures so that he can harness his what you call skills before actually operating on the patient. And this is the evolution of minimally invasive surgical technology from 90s. It was traditional laparoscopy by the turn of the century. Da Vinci was into the vogue, and in the first decade of the century, we had Da Vinci S system and SI. In the second decade of this century, by 2014, 2015, Da Vinci XI came, which is by far the most capable and most versatile robotic system available. So as I was saying, the advantage is the 10 times magnification, a 3D vision, freedom of motion, precision and control. Suppose if a surgeon has a tremor, if the surgeon is a tremor, he is operating by an open technique. This tremor reflects on his movement. Likewise, during the laparoscopic surgery also, the tremor will reflect in the movement of his instruments. But in robotic systems, the tremor gets filtered. The tremor will not reflect in the movement of the instrument, so the surgery will be more precise. The dissection will be meticulous. So really, we have got benefits of both of those: open surgery and laparoscopic surgery. And you can ask any laparoscopic surgeon, what is the most complicated thing that he feels in laparoscopy? The most tedious thing to do in laparoscopic surgery is suturing. Suturing is child's play in robotic system. It's as if you are operating on an open patient. You will do movements by your hands. You will be reflected in the instrument, and it is very easy to do suturing on a robotic system. So that's why there is a short learning curve, and there is an opportunity to teach your trainees also with better technology. So this is how a dual control system looks like. This is the patient card. Instruments are going into the patient. Through the patient card. This is the assistant or a scrub system. This is the chief operating surgeon, and this is the trainee surgeon. So coming to the role, कहाँ पे रोल है रोबोटिक सर्जरी का, कैंसर में कहाँ पे रोल है? मेनली अगर हम हेड एंड नेक की बात करें तो ओरोफेरिंग्स, लेरिंगोफेरिंग्स या रेट्रोफेरिंजियल स्पेस जो होती है, हमारे रेट्रोफेरिंजियल जो एरिया है, ये सारे ये तीनों एरिया जो है जो ओपन सर्जरी, आई एम सॉरी, ये ये तीनों एरिया जो है नॉर्मली ओपन सर्जरी के लिए एक्सेसिबल नहीं है। अगर ओपन सर्जरी में करनी है, मैं आगे आपको स्लाइड दिखाऊंगा कौन सा इंसिजन करना पड़ता है, बिल्कुल म्यूटिलेटिंग लगता है पेशेंट को, तो सही सर्जन को भी डर लगेगा इंसिजन देख के। नेक डिसेक्शन और थायराइड सर्जरी, ये कुछ जगह हैं जहां हेड एंड नेक कैंसर में रोबोटिक सिस्टम का रोल है। मैं एक एग्जांपल देता हूं। ये एक पेशेंट है हु हैज गॉट अ बेस ऑफ टंग लीजन ऑन द लेफ्ट साइड दैट इज इन्वॉल्विंग द टॉन्सिल आल्सो एंड इट इज गोइंग टू द गिनियोग्लोसिस मसल। अगर इस पेशेंट की अब ट्रीटमेंट के दो ऑप्शंस हैं। कन्वेंशनली इस पेशेंट को या तो सीपीआरटी लगना है, ओपन सर्जरी अगर करनी है, ओपन सर्जरी में आपको दिखाऊंगा इंसिजन कैसे लगना है इसमें। तो उस इंसिजन को देख के ट्रेडिशनली ऐसे टाइप के कैंसर में जनरली सीपीआरटी ही लगता था पहले। तो आपका इंसिजन ऐसा एक्सटेंड करेगा, आपका मैंडिबल बीच में से काट के मैंडिबुलर स्प्लिट करना है, उसके बाद आप इसकी पोस्टर बेस्ड और टॉन्सिल को एक्सेस कर पाओगे। और ये आपकी ऑपरेटिव पिक्चर होगी। रोबोटिक मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा रोबोटिक में कैसे इसको दिखाते हैं। उससे पहले एडवांटेज क्या है, जब हम रोबोटिक प्रोसीजर किसी सेम पेशेंट का करेंगे, फायदा क्या हमें, swallowing scores, functional outcomes, back dependence और better survival। better survival शायद डिबेटेबल है, इसके लिए भी लिटरेचर आ रहा है। लॉन्ग टर्म सर्वाइवल डेटा हमारे पास नहीं है, बट ऑन्कोलॉजिकल आउटकम, शॉर्ट टर्म ऑन्कोलॉजिकल आउटकम मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा अगली स्लाइड्स में। ये कंपेरेबल है विद ओपन टू रोबोटिक सर्जरी रिजल्ट्स एंड ऑन्कोलॉजिकल आउटकम इज सिमिलर। दिस इज हाउ ट्रांसओरल रोबोटिक सर्जरी सेटअप लुक्स लाइक। ये हमने पेशेंट का मुंह एफके ट्रैक्टर कहते हैं इसे, एफके ट्रैक्टर खोल के रखा है। ये जो आर्म है, यहाँ से कैमरा जा रहा है और ये दो इंस्ट्रूमेंट जा रहे हैं। इस पेशेंट का ये ऑपरेटिव पिक्चर है। अब सारी दोनों आर्म्स और कैमरा अंदर गया, पूरा पेशेंट के पास घुस गया, तो दिस इज द पिक्चर दैट वी आर गेटिंग। और पेशेंट को कोई इंसिजन नहीं है बाहर नेक में। तो लॉस से हम बात कर रहे थे कॉस्ट में और क्या लॉस ऑफ प्रोडक्टिविटी कैसे होती है। अगर एक पेशेंट है जिसकी आप ओपन सर्जरी करते हो, ऐसे पेशेंट की करीबन एक हफ्ता पेशेंट को, हफ्ता 10 दिन पेशेंट को अस्पताल में रहना है। अगर पेशेंट सीपीआरटी रेडिएशन के लिए ऑप्ट करता है, तो रेडिएशन के लिए उसको रोज करीबन 6 हफ्ते रोज हॉस्पिटल आना होगा। और यही अगर हम ट्रांसओरल रोबोटिक सर्जरी करते हैं इस पेशेंट की, इसको 3 से 4 दिन लगेंगे हॉस्पिटल में, मे बी 5वां दिन। उसके बाद वो घर पे रिहेबिलिटेट हो सकता है हफ्ता भर के लिए, एंड देन ही कैन रिज्यूम नॉर्मल लाइफ। इसी तरह हम कॉम्प्लिकेशंस की बात करें, सीपीआरटी और ओपन सर्जरी में आप देखोगे करीबन सिमिलर कॉम्प्लिकेशन रेट है, अराउंड 30%, वायरस on crossover robotic surgery the complication rate is significantly less। ये डेटा है जो कि बोलता है स्पेशली स्मोकर्स और पी नेगेटिव कैंसर्स, ओरोफेरिंजियल कैंसर्स में प्राइमरी सर्जरी में भी एसोसिएटेड विद इंप्रूव लॉन्ग टर्म सर्वाइवल एंड डिस्क्लोजर रिलेटेड आउटकम्स। अब हमारी जो पॉपुलेशन है वो ज्यादातर P50 नेगेटिव है। वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में पैपिलोमा वायरस जो है, पैपिलोमा वायरस मोर प्रिडोमिनेंट है बिकॉज ऑफ देयर सोशल लाइफ, और वो वहाँ पे ज़्यादा P16 पॉजिटिव पेशेंट्स होते हैं। P16 कैंसर जो होते हैं वो शायद रेडियो सेंसिटिव ज़्यादा होते हैं। हमारे सेक्टर में ज़्यादातर कैंसर जो उतने रेडियो सेंसिटिव नहीं होते, P16 नेगेटिव वाले जो ओरोफेरिंजियल कैंसर्स होते हैं उतना रेडियो सेंसिटिव नहीं होते हैं। तो ये देखा गया है कि ट्रांसओरल रोबोटिक सर्जरी मे बी बेटर देन सीपीआरटी इन P16 नेगेटिव पेशेंट्स, स्पेशली अर्ली स्टेज ओरोफेरिंजियल कैंसर। दिस इज द NCCN गाइडलाइन। NCCN जो नेशनल कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव कैंसर नेटवर्क गाइडलाइन यूएस में बनाते हैं कैंसर्स के लिए, हर किसी कैंसर के लिए। एज पर देयर गाइडलाइन ऑल्सो बोथ अर्ली एंड एडवांस्ड ओरोफेरिंजियल कैंसर्स robotic surgery has got comparable outcomes and it is in the guidelines now. So to conclude, this is a meta-analysis. This demonstrates that upfront transfer robotic surgery and upfront CTRT appear to have equivalent outcomes, functional outcomes, although both may cause impaired swallowing ability. So everybody is saying that I'm not inferior. I'm open person is saying I'm not inferior. Psychiatry guys are saying they're not inferior. And obviously robotic surgeon is also saying I'm not inferior. Patient basically has to decide all the things. I'll skip this slide. तो ये जो डेटा है ये मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि जो हम कॉस्ट अक्सर हमारे पेशेंट्स का जो भी ओपन सर्जरी होगी उसके कंपैरिजन में अगर रोबोटिक सर्जरी तो तकरीबन 1-1.5 लाख के आसपास रोबोटिक सर्जरी का एक्स्ट्रा खर्चा आता है। बट ये स्टडीज हुए हैं अमेरिका की मोस्टली 2-3 स्टडीज हैं जिनने ये प्रूव किया है कि ओवरऑल जो पेशेंट को कॉस्ट आता है वो ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलरली है, क्योंकि पेशेंट को अगर ज़्यादा अस्पताल में रहना पड़ता है उसका प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉस होती है या हॉस्पिटल में ज़्यादा देर रह के उसको डेली का जो अस्पताल का भी खर्चा है वो बढ़ जाता है, तो ओवरऑल पेशेंट की ओवरऑल खर्चे में उतना फर्क नहीं आता। ये 3 जो स्टडीज हैं यूएस की स्टडीज हैं जिनने बताया कि ओवरऑल कॉस्ट में ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है। तो ऑन्कोलॉजिकल आउटकम, चलो पैसे तो ठीक है लेकिन ऑन्कोलॉजिकली सेफ है कि नहीं है, उसके लिए भी डेटा है। बिल्कुल हमारा अपना डेटा भी है जो 2017 में एक रिनाउंड जर्नल में पब्लिश किया गया। दिस इज नॉट इनफेयर एंड इनफैक्ट इन P6 नेगेटिव पेशेंट्स with early oropharyngeal squamous cell carcinoma they may have better survival with robotic surgery rather than CTRT. So in nutshell, it's well proven that transoral robotic surgery is better treatment for early stage oropharyngeal cancers, especially HPV negative oropharyngeal cancers, and it is almost equally effective in advanced oropharyngeal cancers with adjuvant treatment. However, still we will say that when planned, more rigorous trials are required in order to prove this without any repeat. Now, robotic thyroidectomy. It's gaining popularity across the globe, both for benign as well as malignant disease. So, current indications for rapid is robot-assisted breast axillo-inflation technique, thyroidectomy. Current indications are a well-differentiated thyroid cancer, that's less than 2 centimeters with low negative, or a benign nodule that's less than 5 centimeters. Total thyroid size should be less than 7 centimeters, and can be done in both from benign to malignant extent, both for benign lesions as well as malignant lesions. So approaches to thyroid gland. How do we do a robotic surgery for thyroid gland? The first one is the retroauricular. Here you can see we make an incision here, then raise the slab, and then extract the thyroid gland. The problem with this approach is this is feasible for only hemithyroidectomy. It is difficult to go from this one side to other side through this incision, through this system. The next is the Baba approach. So here you can see 4 incisions are there. 1, 2 in axilla and 2 around the nipple areola complex. Here a tunnel is made. I will show you this in a subsequent short video. A tunnel is made, access is gained to this area, and subsequently we can access this area and do thyroidectomy. And patient will not have any scar in the neck. So this Baba approach, this is for both laparoscopy and robotic procedures. When Baba approach is used for robotic procedure, this is known as the rabbit procedure. This is the rabbit procedure. Then there is one more approach to thyroid through robotics, that is transoral. We make a tunnel between the in the gingival sulcus and basically develop this area and gain access to the thyroid. But this is usually feasible for smaller and benign lesions. And this has one problem, that both the mental nerves will be cut and patient will have anesthesia in this area. So obviously the advantage are the safe, better cosmesis, less bleeding, and there is better identification of recurrent laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal nerve. However, as I mentioned earlier also we have a higher cost, we have a premium of 1.1 to 1.5 lakh rupees for robotic procedure, and operative time is slightly longer than the conventional open surgery. A long-term data is not yet available. Now here you can see this is a patient who has undergone an open thyroidectomy. Unfortunately, because of the poor scarring, he has a very bad scar, and this is a patient who has undergone thyroidectomy through the Baba approach. The next is neck dissection. Again, the incision remains the same, and the incision can be either retroauricular or Baba approach. And again, the advantage of better cost is the shoulder dysfunction. Both sides can be done through the same incision. If we have to do a bilateral neck dissection, we have to do an incision from this to this. There through 4 small holes, we can access both areas of neck without any problem. However, we have to be judicious. It does not, each glove or one glove does not fit everyone. We have to be very judicious where only patients who have preferably N0 neck or N1 neck should be a target for such an approach. If the patient has bulky nodal disease, obviously other forms of treatment or maybe an open approach would be better in that case. So you can see the incisions of neck dissection here, and you can compare them yourself with no incision in a robotic procedure. Now I'm presenting a small video of neck dissection through robotic approach. Dr. Baba, that I mentioned earlier. Dr. Srinivas Baba, all of you know he is our head. Here the tunneling is made where there is a subplatitular flap. Making space for another port. You can see that dissection is meticulous and absolutely blameless. This is because of the very good vision magnification and the precision of the movements of the robotic arms. I'm sorry, this video is running fast. If anyone is interested, at the end of the slide, I have basically my own robotic surgery channel. I'll show you. Anyone who is interested in robotic surgery videos, please subscribe, and maybe you will enjoy some of them. This is an edited video and we have fast forwarded it. My channel has videos that contains the entire procedure unedited, so whoever is interested in learning the procedure, he can go to the visitor site and check the videos for themselves.
बकरों में भी काम हो जाएगा।
The anterior digestive is being visualized here. Earlier you might have seen the facial artery also.
आ जाएगा उसका पूरा
This is a marginal minimum mechanical preserve. Very well seen because of the magnification of the system. अक्सर एक जब कट जाती है ओपन सर्जरी में अक्सर कट जाती है तो पेशेंट आप अक्सर पेशेंट का देखेंगे कि एंगल ग्रुप क्या होता है पेशेंट स्माइल करता है उसके एक साइड में थोड़ा एसिमेट्री आ जाती है, तो बिकॉज ऑफ मार्जिनल मैनिपुलर में होता है अगर इंजर हो जाती है। You can see the facial outline very well.
लेकिन डॉक्टर हाँ पे कर रहा हूँ।
Okay, in the rest of time, I'm going to move forward. So to conclude, the remote axle robotic neck dissection is comparable with open neck dissection and it's got good post-operative quality of life and shoulder function. That is capturing significantly better and it has got a better cosmetic outcome of this. That's all of you have seen. Now, what services do we offer in Jai Oncology? We do all kinds of procedures. All kinds of procedures related to gastrointestinal cancer can be done, are done robotically at our center. Be it gastrectomy, be it the most advanced distal procedure, radical cholecystectomy, liver resection, colectomy, right, left colectomy, or extended colectomy, procedures of the rectum, be it anterior resection, low anterior resection, ultra low anterior resection, or APR, all the procedures, hysterectomy also. Every procedure is being done robotically at our center. Here is a short video of low anterior section. This is the port placement. Again, I'm sorry, this video is going very fast. In the interest of time, we have to increase the speed of this video. But anyone who is interested in these videos, kindly subscribe to the channel.
Which channel?
This will be at the end of this. I have a YouTube channel named Robotic Surgery Videos by Asif Saeed. The sphenomesenteric artery is being cut, not the sphenomesenteric vein. The sigmoid and descending column being mobilized from lateral to medial. Posterior dissection in the pelvis. The anterior dissection. Dissecting the rectum away from the urinary bladder. Now we'll divide the rectum. The diameter of endo stapler. The circular stapler enables space. So this is firefly. We have taken out the vessel because of not with the help of fluorescence imaging. We are seeing how far along the vascularity is there on the colon so that we can make the anastomosis at the correct place. The animal is introduced. Now the specimen is detached and that animal will go into the seedage that is being introduced transdermally and will make a circular anastomosis and the procedure is complete. The patient will only have a suprapubic around 4 to 5 centimeter incision that will be hidden in the bikini area. Of course, there is evidence also for the non-inferiority of robotic surgery in tumors, in treatment of tumors of the colorectal. Now again, the role of robotic in gynecological oncology is there for endometrial cancer, obviously cervical cancer, and very early ovarian cancer. Complete staging can be done. Hysterectomy, salpingo-hysterectomy, pelvic and retroperitoneal lymph node dissection, and omentectomy. All can be done very comfortably with the robotic system. There is an argument that is better